Hey, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to give you a full behind-the-scenes look at how I built up my real estate portfolio over here in Germany. I'll walk you through my first deals, how I financed them, what I learned along the way, and how I manage everything today. I'll also share some personal background so you see exactly where I started from. And by the way, if you're currently looking to buy a property and need support finding a suitable property or analyzing one, estimating potential cash flow or upcoming renovation costs, or if you just want a second opinion, I offer personalized consulting. You can find more information in the video description, or you can just visit germanrealty.org/services. So if you're an expat, a young professional, or just someone curious about investing in German real estate, this video is for you. And now let's get started. Let me quickly introduce myself for those who don't know me yet. My name's Hans, I'm currently 28 years old, and I work full-time as a strategy consultant. I currently earn just below 100,000 euros per year with my main job, and I also run a small side business that brings in additional income. In the past years, I've really tried to save up a lot of money. I was actually working since I was like 16 years old, meaning during high school, also during my college times. I was able to save up money for my first investment deal. And now here's the thing, I'm very intentional about how I live. I keep my personal expenses really low, around 1,200 euros a month. I don't own a car, I cook most of my meals, and I live pretty simply. And that gives me the ability to save aggressively. And that's exactly how I started building up my real estate portfolio. So let's first talk about my first investment. As you might have seen in this video here, I bought my first apartment roughly 3 years ago. It was located in Freiburg, had around 26 square meters, and cost me 105,000 euros. I didn't overthink it. I found a solid unit, ran the numbers using this Excel spreadsheet, and decided to go for it. It wasn't fancy, but it was rentable. And most importantly, the numbers made sense. The first purchase taught me a lot. How to deal with banks, how to talk to agents, how to structure the notary process, and how to assess a rental agreement. After that first purchase, I started getting more serious. I built a strategy that focused on cash flow positive properties, not all of them, as you've also seen in my portfolio overview. If you haven't watched that video, watch this one here. Also low risk financing with reasonable leverage, decent but not perfect condition properties to avoid heavy renovations, and strong rental demand, such as student cities. I wasn't looking for luxury or risky flips. I wanted predictable, steady income and properties I could hold for potentially decades. Now let's talk about how I find deals. I use common platforms like Immobilien Scout or sometimes eBay Kleinanzeigen. In fact, except from one offer, which was an off-market deal, I found all of my properties through Immobilien Scout. In addition, I bought 13 out of my 14 properties through a broker, which means that you can find them too. But the secret isn't the website, it's the speed and persistence. I respond to listings quickly. I always send out the same message, and if I think it's a really good deal, I try to call the broker immediately. Good listings will be gone within just a few hours, and that's why it's important to really be fast. And when agents see I'm prepared, they take me seriously. As I said in another video, one of the best deals came from a broker who sold me another previous apartment. She called me directly when another unit became available. No online listing, no competition. And that's why relationships matter, follow-ups matter, being polite, quick and clear really matters. And now let's talk numbers. Overall, I started using around 10 to 15% in equity per deal, mostly funded from my savings. For most of my properties, I used fixed interest loans, sometimes over 10 years, sometimes shorter. For some of my properties, I only fixed the interest rates for a few years because I was betting on falling interest rates, which luckily worked out. I mainly just work with one single bank, and that's my regional Sparkasse in the south of Germany, close to Freiburg, and they have financed 13 out of my 14 properties. Again, I have 13 apartments and one property, which is a commercial site for my self-storage business. And they have financed 13 out of 14 of these deals. The other one I got through another Sparkasse close by because they were offering me better conditions. If you're just starting out investing in your first property, I recommend approaching either your regional banks such as Sparkasse or Volksbank, or traditional mortgage brokers such as Interhyp, which I'm sure you've heard of before, maybe Dr. Klein, and then there's also an English-speaking one called Hypo Friend. So if you need to finance a property, just contact them. Now let's talk about scaling up. Once I had 2 or 3 properties, it all got easier. Banks started to see me as a serious investor. I now own over 13 properties, mainly in southern Germany. Some are smaller student apartments, others are larger multi-room flats. In addition, I also bought, as I said, one commercial property for my self-storage business. Over time, I reinvest the cash flow I get from the properties to keep expanding. I also use income from my side business and of course from my main job to fund renovation work or cover the closing costs of additional real estate investments. Now, how do I manage my portfolio? It's actually a lot of work, right? Since I have now 13 apartments which I rent out, I would say that I get contacted like maybe 4 to 5 times a week by a renter. And to keep track of everything, I created my own tools. As you can see here, my portfolio spreadsheet tracks the current rental income, the cold and the warm rent, loan repayments and interest, remaining debt and equity buildup, property values, and other things such as Betriebskosten and Hausgeld. This is essential for tax season, right? You need to have everything documented in detail in order for you to file your taxes. It's also important for financing new properties and overall just staying in control. With my income tracker, I log every rental payment month by month, and that makes it super easy to report all of my income and also expenditures, which I have for all of my properties in my tax declaration. If you're interested in these templates, you can get them on my website, which I will also link in the video description. Now let's talk about renovations. In the beginning, I avoided renovations, but over time I realized how much value you can create with the right investments. In some apartments, I replaced the floors, added a new kitchen, plastered the walls, redid the electricity, or upgraded lighting and bathroom fittings. I did some of the work myself, especially in the first renovations I did, but now I'm mostly using contractors in order to get the renovation going. This also helps me then scale up faster, right? If I were to do every renovation myself, I wouldn't be able to scale up this fast. Also, I'm not flipping the apartments, I'm not touching or renovating everything, right? I do what's needed in order to rent it out at a reasonable price. Now, in the past years, I've also become more and more interested in the whole tax side of it all and how I can optimize my taxes. There are schemes out there which I've described previously, such as increasing depreciation through a Restnutzungsdauergutachten, expense tracking and deduction rules, and other things. All of this lets me reduce my taxable income and reinvest more each year. Now, what are some of the lessons learned? If I had to summarize what helped me build this portfolio, it would be live well below your means, start early even with a small deal, document everything, especially all of the expenses, the rent and so on. Build relationships with brokers, banks and craftsmen. Use helpful tools such as the spreadsheets to stay in control, and always run the numbers conservatively. Going forward, I'm still expanding. I'm looking to buy more properties over the next couple of months and years, and potentially even multifamily units. And of course, I'm sharing everything I learn on YouTube. So if you want to learn how to do the same, check out my spreadsheets, join my mentorship program, or book a one-on-one call via my website. You can find all links in the video description. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this gave you both the motivation and the roadmap to start or grow your own real estate journey. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments where you are in your investing journey. See you guys soon. Take care. Bye.